very thankful for everything that I have experienced. I've never felt like I haven't been fulfilled. I feel like when I go after things, you know, that's just the kind of person that I am. Like, if I really want something, I go after it. Whether, you know, 3 months in a house with complete strangers or moving to California. I packed up my car, Dan, and moved cross country to California without anything. I didn't have a job. I didn't really have anything. I was moving in with strangers. And, but I'm very proud of myself for it at the time, you know? Like, at the time I wasn't, you know, at the time I was scared, but now that I look back on it, I'm like, wow, I think that took a little bit of balls. That took a little bit of courage, you know, to actually do that. Especially where I come from, people don't do things like that. You know, they don't take that risk. And I took it. It's something that I knew that I wanted. I knew I did not, as much as I love my family and my friends and my values and everything about it, I have a very adventurous side, you know? I do. And I wanted to experience it. And if I didn't like it, I could always go home. But I loved it. I moved here and I absolutely loved it, and I wouldn't give it up for the world. I don't know. It's such sometimes you feel like, I think it was Memphis, I said sometimes you don't feel like you know where you belong. That's how I feel like sometimes. I feel like I don't know where I belong. I feel like I'm stuck in between two different worlds, you know? Because as much as I love the Midwest, I don't think people there realize how good they have it. They're amazing people there.
Do you think you're ever going to get sick of, like, your life out here? Not sick of it, but, like, get a point where you're over it?
I've been sick of my life out here at certain points, you know. Like, the first year I moved out here, I had a really rough time. I went through a lot of ups and downs. Like, I was literally on top of the world with things and down at the bottom on things, like the next. Like, it's such an instance. Like, it was such an emotional roller coaster. But I used to have dreams. This is crazy to me. I used to have dreams, it's so crazy to me because I love Ohio. Don't get me wrong. I do. I think it is just an amazing place. And that's because it's my home. But I would have dreams that I moved back to Ohio and I would wake up in like a sweat, like a nightmare, like type of thing. I guess it was more to me like giving up. It was more to me like, just come on home. I had people that said that in my life, you know. I had people that was like, oh, I don't think, you know how it is. Like, whatever it is in naked, you know, in all of our lives, you know, we have people like that. They're like, I just don't think, you know, just come on home.
Yeah, but, I mean, you gotta do what you want, and if you want to go home, who cares what other people think? You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's the thing. I don't want to go back to Ohio.
Right.
I love California. Honestly, I think that California will probably be my new life. Wherever it may start, I don't think I'll ever live in Ohio again. I don't think that'll ever happen for me. I'll try to make many trips back there, and if I'm fortunate enough to have a second home there. But as far as being there constantly year-round, no. I don't think it'll ever happen for me. I love California. It's something that I fell deeply in love with. And either you love it or you don't. You know what I mean? It's kind of one of those things. Like you said to us earlier, why do you guys live here? You either love it. I can't explain the passion of the city, or you don't. You know, or you're like, this isn't worth it, you know.
I think I figured out what your and JJ's thing was about. It just hit me.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I know what you're saying now.
No, okay.
And it's not that. It's just a couple stuff.
And then there's something else I'd be mad at you for that you would possibly do.
No. Yeah, that's not it either. I mean, like I said, we broke up for a short while, you know. He left. It was a very hard time in my life. Actually, it wasn't that long ago. It was a couple months ago. A couple months before I moved into the house. I think it was...
What the heck is it?
I'm trying to think. I'm like, was it like in May?
Did you take Gizmo and like sell him or something?
No. No. He left for a little while. We just had a rough year. Not a rough year, a rough
couple months.
Few moments. Yeah.
All is well now. You know how much he appreciates you, and I think you appreciate him more since you've been in here. And just by hearing the way you've talked. You know, even from, like, week 4 when you started talking to now, you know, you sound like you appreciate him even more.
I do. Yeah. I do appreciate him more. I think I had a lot of resentment still. When I first came into the house, I'm not going to lie, I still had that resentment towards him. I did. You know, for whatever it was. I just felt like he wasn't around enough. Felt like he never understood. And as much as I tried to tell him, you know, he just was never going to understand. That's how I felt. And so in the letter when he wrote that, that was huge to me. When he said that he understood, like, what it was to be home alone, I was like, oh my God. And when the words came out of his mouth about, you know, us not being apart for so long, that was huge. You have to understand, I was the one that was at home all the time by myself. He just now got a taste of it. He just now is realizing. That's how I feel. That meant probably, like, the world to me in that letter.
That's good, Keesh. I'm happy for you.
And what about you and your letter?
No, because that's the thing that bothers me is when I see, like, girls that I care about, like, obviously my sister, but you also fall into that are, like, you know, you just want them to be happy and with someone that's going to treat them the way they're supposed to, you know?
Yeah. So what about your dad?
Dad never
Well, what
told
did they come to you and say?
My mom
I mean, when it was time.
Yeah. Well, like, my sister had moved to Ohio, so me and my mom went down to visit her. And then, like, we were just, I mean, I didn't expect anything. And then at night, we were going to sleep, and my mom told us together. And my mom was crying, my sister's crying. I was just like, okay, you know, but she didn't tell us a reason why.
She said your dad was leaving.
No, she just said that they were getting divorced.
But he was still living in the house?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think for a mother, you try to protect your child, so you probably try to say it as innocently as possible.
Right. I mean, like, I knew, like, my mom wasn't happy, but at the same time, like...
Kids aren't stupid.
Right. You know, but, like, I never knew the reason, and maybe it's, like, it's because my mom doesn't want me to look at my father different, and maybe my father... Of course. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of
I don't know. And that's the thing. It could be or it could not be. I don't know.
I don't think that Rennie had it right in the way that she was telling you, you know, like, it's your responsibility, because I think that, you know, being your age, and even my age, if my parents were to get divorced now, I don't think it's my responsibility to build a relationship with my father. I feel like my father should take a step forward, and hopefully your father's listening to this.
No, don't say it, but...
No, but I'm saying, like, I feel like, you know, like, it is, no matter how awkward it is, or whatever the situation may be, between any parent and their child, I feel like it is the parent's responsibility. And that's when you have kids, you take on that responsibility. And this is just my views. Like, if I was to have a child, if it doesn't work out between the mother and father, and I am, if it doesn't, it doesn't. Like, that's where I feel that people mess up. Like, I don't think you should stay together for a child. If you're not in love anymore, it is better for the child for you two to split off and go your separate ways, but still involve your children. You know what I'm saying?
But here's the thing: you look at someone like Memphis, where, like, I could just, stop trying, and then he my dad dies tomorrow, and then it's like, okay, well, I gave up. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Like,
it's such a hard situation.
I know, like, if I give up,
understand.
if I give up trying, then, but it is frustrating at times, but at the